baby.
What is up, you guys? Welcome to day 29. Andre agreed to hang out with us today and share all the gold. He's full of funnies today. We just did a sound check.
I had my pre-workout like prematurely.
You should really
prematurely.
drink some purple pre-workout instead.
I got this one off Amazon before you got the purple workout, so or purple pre-workout. So that's a tongue twister.
Talking really fast.
I got this one off Amazon, so I need to finish it before I move on.
Okay. So, so do you want to talk about? There's a lot of questions about working together as a spouse, like as a couple with your spouse, but the question that really was the reason I wanted to get your opinion today was someone asked, how do I get my spouse to pull their weight? Which could mean a variety of different things. It could mean relationship-wise in the house. It could mean supporting you in your goals and business and all of that. So I kind of wanted your take on that. We could kind of share just a couple different things.
Yeah, that's an interesting question because like I think there's a part of like selecting the right partner is probably a part of that, right? Because there's probably years and years of undoing some sort of programming where the individual maybe wasn't not necessarily ambitious, but supportive. Yeah, I guess that'd be the right word. So, from one perspective, there's the idea that you want to make sure that you're picking the right partner, right? And I think if you ignore that portion of the process, then you're setting yourself up to fail. If you want an individual who's going to pull their weight, either from like a financial standpoint or cleaning around the house or something along those lines, like old habits die hard. And if you see going into a relationship that that's not in their nature and that's what you're looking for, you're going to have to work extra hard to make the relationship work because that's who a part of them are. Now, can you get them to change their ways a little bit or buy into an idea? Yeah, but I think everything's a bit of a sales gig, right? Like you want to
show them.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. You want to show them the value.
Sales, right?
Absolutely. You want to show them the value of being a contributor to the relationship in any way that you think fit for you, by, I guess, rewarding.
Yeah. Communicating it, but rewarding it. Like, don't just let it go ignored. If someone does do something that you appreciate, voice it.
Yes, absolutely.
But I feel like what you said was really important in like selecting the right partner and also just sharing what you value. That's knowing your worth.
Absolutely.
As a human being. Well, and that person respecting you.
I think so, for sure. I think it's tough to look at it from that perspective, and I don't want to be the one to tell you you've chosen or haven't chosen the right partner, but I think the very first thing you do is you evaluate that portion of it, and then you try and, again, I used the word programming, like that sounds so sketchy, but
you mean
you get
programming in the sense of not like Stepford Wives, or is that what it's called, but more in the sense of like, we're like a bajillion-year-old machine. Like, we're like gorillas. Like, you're programmed a certain way. And at the like core of ourselves, and I feel like this took me really far, is just understanding that as a woman, what I really love is that you are the protector of the family. That's a very like primal thing to your core. But when women don't feel safe or protected in many ways, that's when they start to
disengage.
Yeah. Sure. And then same with men.
Yeah.
If they don't feel like the woman is nurturing and loving, and even like the gatherer, like what isn't the woman like the gatherer? Like it's just like all these primal things. Like I feel like it goes back to that.
So I'll say like the only thing that I would add to that effect is, we learned this. There needs to be a polarity, right? And it's not necessarily the guy is doing the guy stuff, the male things, which is protecting and so forth, which you just described, and the female is doing the female things. In like modern society, it can be the total opposite, but there needs to be polarity there for the relationship.
And it can also work in same-sex relationships too. As long as you have the polarity of one is the
masculine energy,
that is more like the one that is going to protect and be, like you said, the masculine
versus the feminine energy. And I think if you say masculine versus feminine in your head, you know what you're thinking, because there's years and years of,
and there isn't a wrong or right way to have one. I just think that where relationships, we've noticed at least, that seem to have a bit of conflict is when there's two masculine or two feminine energies, where let's say the wife is just like I think I shared this in one of the relationship tips. Like you just, would badger be the right word? Like just,
Sure, yeah.
You're relentless in just like tearing that person down. And then you're trying to be like the person that like is the protector of the family, and you get like you're very aggressive as the woman when your husband is trying to do the very same thing, and then you have conflict that way.
Clash,
So it's two masculine energies coming at it. But one thing that I quickly wanted to know, because I'm just looking at this, and this really helped us, was doing the
Dream Life Blueprint?
no.
Yes,
Sorry.
I see you reaching for it.
It's literally, it's not a plug for the Dream Life, although like I do believe that couples should go through it together. But remember how we did the love languages? Mm-hmm. And just on the note, you know how you said like let them know when they're doing something that's helping you or that's making you feel valued, or let's say that they are pulling their weight in a certain way, but pulling their weight is very relative. Is it bringing in money? Is it cleaning the house? Is it acts of service? Is it hugging you?
To me, it's contributing to your like combined vision for what success looks like in your household, and that starts with communication.
Yep.
Right. If you want to be financially free, if you want to live in a clean and organized home, if you want to live in a minimally argumentative home,
Yep.
These are all things that needs to be communicated from partner to partner, and then there needs to be an agreement, I guess, to a degree that both are going to contribute in some way. But when I was talking about a sales gig, I wasn't just talking about rewarding good behavior. I was also talking about getting buy-in on a vision for what your perception of a successful life is.
Yeah.
Right? If your successful life is a simple life in the country where you're working exclusively 6 hours a day, and then when you're done working you unplug and there's no side hustle, there's no nothing, but you're simple and in your financial requirement and so forth, then that's the vision you're selling your partner, and that's the vision they're contributing to.
Yeah.
And by not working after hours and so on, right? Like doing what they need to do to contribute to the relationship. And then on the flip side, there's if you want to experience extremely unique things and want to have a really unique house and a nice car and so forth, then there's an expectation, and there's communication that needs to happen, that both parties within the relationship or the marriage need to want that. And it's the same thing in business. If you want to grow a multitude of businesses and to an nth degree, and you choose your partner as your partner,
Yep.
then there needs to be an agreement. Sorry, I don't know that word's so hard for me. Agreement between the two that there's going to be a contribution to creating that vision. And I think frustrations come whenever both parties are not contributing to that vision, because there's an understanding of the vision, it's been communicated, and then the expectation is that they both contribute to it. And then it's just this ongoing process of rewarding the right behavior, if you will.
Can I ask you a question on the contribution? Do you think that a marriage is 50-50 all the time?
No.
I don't think it is. There's certain times where someone steps up and does more in that area. You know how we always say, but this is where specifically I think that we have an opinion that's a bit different on this. It ends up being 50-50 because one person might pull their weight to 95%. Like you 99.99999, I don't think I've barely ever done it. You always do you literally just did it an hour ago. You do the garbage run
Sure.
I contribute 0 in that department. You are I would say I contribute you probably do 90% of the dishes in the morning. You clean the kitchen in the morning.
It's part of my routine. But
that's what I mean. So I contribute 0 to that. But if it was not my love language where you're doing that, then I could feel like you're not pulling your weight. So that's where I feel like this is super important. This is what was the page I was saying. Do this page as a couple. So you fill out all of these different areas. What are to me, the one that was so important to me was, what is your trigger for each of these categories? Is it a trigger to you for if someone forgets your birthday or doesn't hug you or goes without physical touch, then you know where they're not pulling your weight. And then I think that one tip that you gave in our long Q&A that we did on my main channel was, don't let the business come before the relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're running a business with your partner, and I mean, life can be treated as a business, as I don't want to get overly philosophical, but if you're working on a combined goal, and a vision that you're looking to accomplish in your life, certainly you have to resist criticism in you know, if things aren't going exactly as you planned. I think we do a good job at that. You have your functions and I have my functions.
Yeah.
But to go back to the conversation about 50-50, like you got to give everything to your relationship. And in the process, I think your partner gives everything to the relationship. But if it's a give and take and you're constantly measuring, you do this if I do that, and you never do this, I
Like
always
tit
do
for
that,
tat,
and so
yeah.
forth, and it becomes tit for tat, then I think that's a recipe for disaster.
100%. And may we just say that we don't feel like we're necessarily qualified to share all these things, but we have been together since I'm 15. So
Yeah, it's been 20 years, 21 years.
holy moly.
Yeah, holy moly,
And
Donald Trump.
married for 11.
It's been a while.
Holy
It's been a while.
moly.
I feel
Okay.
old now.
You can go do your workout?
I am going to do my workout.
That's another key to a good relationship is get your energy out in the gym.
Yeah.
Where like if you have pent up anger, go do it.
I noticed I don't know when this video is going to go up, but today or yesterday.
I told them yesterday. I told them a bunch of announcements, so I don't know if you saw it yet because it hasn't aired when we're recording this.
Okay, so I haven't seen it yet. In your video, and I think now 2 days ago, you talked about your priorities. And I want to emphasize that you didn't put me as number one. You put me as number two. You put health and you as number one.
Is that okay?
No, that my point is, and you know that's okay, right? Like you know that if you're not in good health, you can't be anything to anybody. And furthermore, if you're not doing your workout, you're potentially a less happy person. If
Yeah.
you're not reading
Like
your
mental
books,
health,
yeah,
yeah.
like if you don't pay attention to yourself first, then you can only be so much to your spouse. So always make sure that your priorities are you number one, and then you'll find that everything else falls into place. So if you're focused on you as number one, and then you're giving 100% to the relationship, I don't know how your relationship can fail barring a disaster.
And that falls perfectly in the know your worth category. Like it's not selfish to put yourself and your priorities first because then you can fill other people's cup when your cup is full.
I think you said it perfectly. Know your worth. Like you are insanely valuable when you're focused on yourself.
And you're your best self.
And you're significantly less valuable when you're focused on everybody else.
100%. This was so good, Magoo. You can go do your workout?
Yes, because my skin is itchy, literally.
Well, I'm going to go drink my purple tea that doesn't make my skin itchy.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I should have done that. I'm just going to ditch the Amazon one and move on.
Just saying. Anyways, so yeah, yesterday there was a ton of announcements in case you guys missed it. Audrey hasn't seen it yet. I told them everything.
What are the announcements?
I told them about the holiday. I told them about Daily Home. I told them about the more regular, like plainer covers. I told them about the vision.
Good gosh, you went all out. Okay, well, anyways, that's good. There, now y'all know.
All right, you guys. We are just a couple of days from being completely done with this series. So what we're going to do over the next couple of days is make sure that all your questions are answered and give you a game plan to be able to continue your journey. But definitely comment down below. We also selected the winners. I'm going like this because I keep adding new ones. We selected the winners for the Dream Life Blueprint. Go check if I responded to your comment. I told you guys who to email to get your information to us, and we will send those out. So I guess we'll see you guys tomorrow for one of our last episodes together.
And I might see you in the background of a video walking by.
Yeah, walking by
Post-workout.
shirtless.
Not shirtless. I've been having my shirt on lately.
Nope. They watch. They know. All right, you guys. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye, dudes.